in here. Thankfully, this is some good news. This is rolling through our radar velocities here. Our radar site's over here in northeastern Williamson County. So this is detecting winds going away from the radar towards the radar. The tornado warning was issued when those winds, those bright colors, were right next to each other, just north of Burnett and Williamson counties. They have just issued a new tornado warning, so we will need to go into continuous coverage here as long as this tornado is potentially on the ground. This is going to be a new tornado warning. Let me get some details on it here as we are just getting this information in live on TV. This is going to be for Sun City. This is going to be for Florence until 6:30 p.m. This, as far as I know, I'm going to check with our National Weather Service chat here briefly, and we are going to need to go into continuous coverage for the rest of the program as long as there's a potential tornado on the ground. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Briggs. This is a radar-indicated tornado, so not confirmed on the ground, but if we are going to see a tornado, it's going to be right up there northeast of Joppa. Let me zoom in even farther here. This is just north of Briggs, just northeast of Joppa, just northwest of Florence, and again, this is moving towards the south pretty quickly. Let me turn on our velocity scan. This can give us a better indication of where we may be seeing a tornado. The rotation here, I'm going to be totally honest with you, is not highly impressive in terms of tornado potential. Usually you want to see bright greens right next to bright reds. We're not seeing that northeast of Briggs, but if we are going to see one, it's going to be right on the northeastern Burnett County line, moving towards the south and towards the southeast. So this does include Briggs, but the rotation is very weak and just towards the northeast of you. Still, I want you to take your tornado precautions. If you're in Joppa, if you're in Florence, if you're in Sun City, I'm going to zoom in and get even more city information on here. Lake Georgetown, Liberty Hill as well. If you are in this area and if you live in a mobile home, I want you to get away from the mobile home and find a sturdier structure so that you can ride out this storm as safely as possible. If you are in a home, I want you to get into the most interior room of your home. That includes a hall closet, perhaps a bathroom beneath a stairwell. That's going to be the best place to give you the most distance between you and the outside if there is a tornado on the ground. Again, this is radar indicated. This is not a confirmed tornado, but can't take it any less seriously nonetheless. Florence, Joppa, Liberty Hill, Lake Georgetown. We have until 6:30 for this tornado warning to expire. This was just issued by the National Weather Service about 2 or 3 minutes ago as the storm continues to move towards the south. Again, the velocities here are not totally impressive. They were very impressive up here. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. You see, as an example, right up here, that would have been a confirmed tornado. This would have been around 5:30 just east of Kempner, but as we go farther in time, the rotation has really fallen apart. So I do want you folks to stay very, very vigilant. If we are seeing a tornado potentially on the ground, it's going to be right up here on the Burnett and Bell County lines. Ocala, just east of you. See the reds right there, greens right there. If there is a tornado on the ground, it's going to be right in this neck of the woods, just east of FM 2657. If that's familiar to you, I want you to be in your safe place as well. This tornado warning will continue for another 40 minutes and will include Florence, Joppa, Sun City, and Liberty Hill. But I got to tell you, this radar velocity scan that we're seeing here, very promising as this continues towards the south. Hopefully, we'll continue to get a little messier in here. What we don't want to see are those bright greens right next to the bright reds. That would be very bad news. I'm going to go back to this tornado warning here in just a moment. I do want to update also on what is going on in Lake Buchanan area. This is still a severe thunderstorm warning over here. That will go until 6:30 p.m. as well. That does include Kingsland and Burnett. The severe thunderstorm aspect of this same storm that's producing a potential tornado up here in northeastern Burnett County also has a potential to produce some golf ball sized hail, perhaps wind-driven golf ball sized hail. Up to 60 miles per hour is not out of the question. Again, I'm very optimistic here that what we're seeing is a weakening trend of this storm as it is moving farther towards the south. You see, it looked really impressive right up there, west of Killeen. But as it's moved farther south, it looks like things have occluded. We call it occlusion when a tornado starts to fall apart and the tornado wraps up a little bit. So that is some good news, but these storms can also cycle through where one tornado can give way to another tornado, which is why you need to take this tornado warning seriously. Northwestern Williamson County as well as eastern Burnett County, again until 6:30 p.m. Let me zoom in again and get another update on our rotation here. Again, this is going to be just north of Briggs. If you are in Briggs right now, I want you in your safe place. That includes an interior room of your house as far away from doors and windows as possible. That also means that if you are in a mobile home, and in Briggs, you got to get out of your mobile home. That's the worst place to be in terms of tornado safety. You got to be out of your mobile home. Find a close by structure, whether it be a gas station, somewhere that will let you in and you can get into an interior room. That would be the better place to be up here in Briggs. But once again, if there is a tornado, it's right there. The velocity is not overwhelmingly impressive to me. But again, that's all you need. A little bit of red velocity right next to a little bit of green velocity. That's going towards away to the radar, away from the radar. If we do have a tornado warning, it is going to be right there northeast of Briggs, heading towards the south pretty quickly. Let me try to put a timestamp on this for you folks farther south of this storm. This storm's moving pretty quickly, about 30 miles per hour towards the south. If we put a timestamp on this at 30 miles per hour, I'm running out of real estate here. Hang on. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. Since the storm's moving so quickly, a lot of folks are potentially in the path of what could be a tornado. One moment. So this is going to include northwestern Williamson County as well as northeastern Burnett County. But the tornado itself, if it is on the ground, is going to be right where those greens meet the reds. And this is going to move towards the south pretty quickly. We'll include Leander by 6:42 p.m., Liberty Hill by 6:30 p.m., Mahomet at 6:07 p.m. Briggs, you're basically right on top of it, about 5 minutes away from you. So again, Briggs is first up in this line of what could be a tornado as it continues to move towards the south pretty quickly. The rotation, again, is not very impressive, but these tend to cycle is kind of the concern here, that one tornado can give way to another. The rotation has really brightened down a little bit, but right in there, just northwest of Florence, if you are in Joppa, if you are in Florence, it's going to be moving right towards the west of Florence, east of Joppa, right along Highway 183. So if you do live along Highway 183 down to Liberty Hill, you need to be in your safe place as we speak. Again, the radar velocities are showing not a whole lot. To me, as a meteorologist, I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing there, but we can't totally rule it out. I also want to go back to this storm over here in Llano, in Lake Buchanan area. We're also still looking at velocities here, and I want to poke out what has just popped up on our velocity scan. That red going away from the radar, right next to the green and blue on the eastern side of Llano. This may be another sort of tornadic rotation trying to get organized. There's no tornado warning here for Llano or for Llano County or for Lake Buchanan area, but these storms do have the potential, at least today, to produce these quick spin-ups. That one that was just north of our area and now a new tornado warning for parts of Williamson County. It's a quick spin-up that, at least for now, looks to have weakened, but those quick spin-ups cannot be messed around with. We need to treat them just the same. I'm going to take you back to radar view just one more time as we are starting to run out of real estate here in our 5 p.m. newscast. These storms are very, very electric too. And as they kind of congeal into a line here, anywhere from Killeen all the way down to Llano, I think the bigger concern as we head into the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes is that as these merge into a line, the damaging wind threat will start to pick up. We showed you the cranes up in Dallas earlier this evening. They were toppled and unfortunately led to a fatality. That's the same kind of wind we may see with these storms as they get congealed into a line and start to move farther towards the south. So this is going to be a threat for Austin in not too much longer of time. This is a 1-hour radar loop. So I would say in the next hour and a half to maybe 2 hours at the very most, as this line continues to push towards the south, Austin will be facing some of the same severe weather threats that they're seeing up here in Burnett and Williamson counties. One more update as well on the tornado warning. I know that's what a lot of folks are worried about here, especially in Williamson County. Again, this does not include Gerald, thankfully. Gerald is outside of this tornado warning. You are in a severe thunderstorm warning in Gerald, but this tornado warning is just west of you in Gerald. It includes Florence, it includes Sun City, Liberty Hill, Lake Georgetown, Joppa as well. As I take the lightning away from this, I'm going to get over to velocity scan one more time. This is good. I'm going to tell you, I'm not impressed by what I'm seeing on velocity scan. A little bit of red going right next to a little bit of green, but this has really started to fall apart here over the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. If there is a tornado on the ground, it's going to be just northeast of Briggs, moving towards the south and towards the east. But I got to tell you, based on what I'm seeing here, I don't think there is likely a tornado on the ground at this time. But as I've mentioned a few times already, these tend to cycle through, and a new tornado can spin up after an old tornado. And that's why this tornado warning that goes until 6:30 for Florence, Joppa, and a good chunk of western Williamson County does need to be taken seriously for you folks up in this area. Again, Sun City is also included. Georgetown, you are not officially included, though, on Lake Georgetown. And, you know, we got plenty of folks today out on Lake Buchanan, Lake Travis, and Lake Georgetown, I'm sure, trying to enjoy the afternoon heat. We got up to 108 degrees on the heat index scale today. I want you all to be inside if at all possible, also in Sun City. Just get into an interior room. If you ride this out in an interior room of your house, away from doors and windows, I think you'll be just fine. Same goes for your severe thunderstorm warnings, too. Overall, we should be okay in that department. As long as you are taking your precautions, getting to where you need to be. I also want to go back to this storm over here in northeastern Llano County, just southeast of Llano, I should say. This is not looking good. This is what we don't want to see. The reds, bright, right next to the blues and greens, also very bright. That is where we're getting some rotation indicated. This is just east of Llano, perhaps just southwest of Buchanan Dam. This is going to be moving towards the south as well. No new tornado warning here. No severe thunderstorm warning in that part of the storm either, but can't totally let our guard down with it either. Let me go back to our radar scan and put this in motion with our lightning turned off. You'll see this part of the storm in Llano has really started to flare up right over Llano. So if there is rotation, it's going to be right in there. This storm also moving towards the south. Starting to pick up steam. Also, it's going to be moving towards the south 20 to 30 miles per hour. So folks in Kingsland, you need to be in your safe place. Lake Buchanan, hopefully there's no one on Lake Buchanan. There's a ton of lightning out there with this storm. Burnett as well. This storm is starting to congeal into a line pretty quickly at that. This line of storms, you see the thin green line starting to poke out here from the south. That's going to be some of that severe thunderstorm wind gust potential that we saw up in DFW earlier this evening. This is starting to happen for us as well. So basically anywhere from Bartlett, just north of our area, to Taylor, over to Marble Falls, and over to Llano. There's a lot of severe thunderstorm activity here, a lot of different severe thunderstorm polygons. It's going to take a lot of time for me to poke out each and every one of them for you, but just know that if you're Llano all the way over to Bartlett, heading down south to Round Rock, Spicewood, Marble Falls, you're basically under severe thunderstorm warning right now. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts at least, some quarter to golf ball-sized hail, in addition to a localized tornado threat. That's what we're seeing potentially with this storm just northwest of Sun City. I'm going to zoom in one more time because I know a lot of folks are really concerned about getting a tornado warning on their phone, getting it through their CBS Austin weather app. But again, I want to highlight how not impressive this velocity is. I'm very hopeful on what we're seeing here, that this tornado, if there was one on the ground, and it was confirmed just north of our area, not confirmed here in this tornado warning. I'm positively thinking here that we're seeing the last of what could be some tornadic rotation. But again, you see a little bit of green right next to a little bit of red. Let me zoom into where that could be affecting some folks. That little bit of rotation can't be messed with. This is just on the east side of Briggs, just north of Highway 138, west of Highway 195, east of 183, and then FM 2657 runs right through Briggs. That rotation would be just to the southeast of Briggs. It's going to be right down here if there is some form of a tornado on the ground. But again, I don't think there is one at this time. But we're going to stay on air with you as long as there is a tornado warning on the ground. We're going to stay with you on air to make sure you are getting the latest information and we are not leaving anyone out of the loop. Let's see. We have a report from Florence Fire Department that a funnel was spotted around CR 223. So that would be in Florence. That would be up here. That may be in regards to that rotation that we're seeing on the east side of Briggs. So again, this isn't a confirmed tornado on the ground, but this is a radar-indicated rotation, and that rotation, my friends, has really started to weaken over the last several scans. I'm going to take the lightning off of here so I can get you a better look at the surface. Just know that there's a lot of lightning. I'm not going to continue to show it to you because I want you to see the actual shape and size of these storms as they're moving towards the south. That storm over there in Llano, I'm worried about. There's no new warning for it just yet, but I'll update you as soon as we get one. Lake Buchanan, you're getting likely some large hail this time up to the size of quarters. Burnett, you're going to be up next. A quick run through as well over to Sun City. Not just to you yet, nor is it to Georgetown, but you notice this thin green line starting to poke out. That's going to be the first thing you notice outside. The wind really starts to pick up, perhaps up to 50, 60 miles per hour. And then when the storm hits, we may see some hail being driven by that wind, which is why you need to be inside if at all possible. But as long as you're inside, folks, I think you're going to be okay, even with this tornado warning. As long as you're inside, away from your doors and windows, I think this is going to be just fine. Getting some new chatter on the National Weather Service chat. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. They have not issued any new tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings, so we're still just dealing with what we have on the map currently. One more check of our velocity here. As it loops through, man, it continues to fall apart. This is some really good news. This continues to fall apart in terms of our rotation in the thunderstorm. You want bright greens right next to bright reds. That's where you would find a tornado. We're just not seeing it at all. Mahomet, just southeast of Briggs, Highway 183. If there is perhaps a little bit of rotation, it would be right here, just on the east side of Highway 183. But truth be told, I'm not seeing it, at least at this time. But the storm is very strong. These can cycle through and produce new tornadoes, which is why anyone in this tornado warning, which goes until 6:30 p.m., which is another 30 minutes, needs to be in their safe spot. That includes Liberty Hill. That includes the east side of Bertram, Lake Georgetown, Sun City. Anyone who lives along Highway 183 here, I know this is a busy stretch of road, got a lot of small houses on here, not necessarily associated with any city. So if you are on 183, go ahead and find your safe place now, which is away from a mobile home. You do not want to be a mobile home when there's a tornado warning. That's the worst place to be. Inside of your secure structure, something that's anchored to the ground, and then away from doors and windows. That means a hall closet, a bathroom, anything that puts as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's often what saves lives in these sorts of situations, but we're not seeing any strong indication of what could be a tornado on the ground. Still could be one. Sometimes our radar can miss those little spin-ups. It may be a very small tornado in here that we can't totally discount, which is why we want you to stay in your safe place for at least the next 30 minutes or so until this tornado warning does expire. This storm over here in eastern Llano County, they have not issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for it, but I am a little bit concerned about it. Let me show you our radar without the lightning on it, and you'll see the same sort of hook echo. We call it a hook echo because it looks like a fisherman's hook. It goes like this. That's where the winds are wrapping around, and that can often produce a tornado. This is just southeast of Llano. There's no tornado warning yet in Llano County. There's a severe thunderstorm warning on the east side of Llano County, but this new little storm that's kind of branched off and broken off towards the west, I would be concerned about it if you are in Llano or farther towards the south, perhaps. Again, the National Weather Service is watching all this for us. They are some busy folks as well, and they have a lot to digest with these storms as they kind of flare up and get organized very quickly. So we'll keep you posted if they do issue a new warning on that. They have trimmed back this tornado warning as we speak. They just shoved far, far northern Burnett County out of it. Still have a warning for everywhere else that goes until 6:30 p.m. Florence over towards Liberty Hill, just east of Joppa, including Sun City. Let me go back and show you what I'm seeing. So this is promising. Notice this thin green line here. That's where the thunderstorm winds are racing out ahead of the thunderstorm. I think that's taken a lot of the potential for rotation out of the way of this thunderstorm. And we're just not seeing it on radar. If I was seeing it, I would of course let you know, but it's just not sticking out to me like a sore thumb like you'd usually see in a strong tornado. If there is rotation, again, the radar site is over here, Granger Lake. So we're looking this way at the storm. We look for where the greens, which is coming this way, are next to the reds and just not seeing it. So I don't want to discount or diminish the importance of taking shelter in a tornado warning. You need to be doing so, but I also want to give you some peace of mind up there near Briggs that the rotation here is really not very promising at all. So hopefully this will be the beginning of the end of this tornado warning as this storm continues to weaken and go into a line of storms, which is better news in terms of not seeing a tornado, but still dangerous in its own right. Can't totally discount damaging straight line winds either, because I bet you that's what we are seeing. With these thunderstorms as intense as they are, they're producing a lot of cold outflow winds that are starting to push towards the south. We've got these outflow boundaries. You see the little thin green lines. That would be where we're seeing some 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts perhaps. That's damaging. So you folks up in Williamson County, from Georgetown, in fact, over to Round Rock, Spicewood Springs, Marble Falls, farther south of where these warnings are officially located, I think you do need to be in your safe place as well. Because these winds, as we saw earlier in Dallas, have the potential to really ramp up. The Dallas winds were in the neighborhood of 70 miles per hour, and that's what some of these warnings are covering for. In fact, this severe thunderstorm warning in northern Williamson County is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. It would not be surprising, though, if we saw some gusts in there that were higher than that. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, as I thought they may do for Llano County. Just going to highlight this real quickly. This is going to be for Llano, including most of Llano County, including Kingsland as well, for 60-mile-per-hour winds and some hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter. Let me pause this for a second. I'm going to show you our hail. That is not very good news. So this orange shade on our hail potential here, orange corresponds with massive hail, perhaps up to the size of baseballs or larger. This often overestimates that, but you got to know that on the east side of Llano, at least there is some 1.5-inch hail, perhaps larger, up to 2 inches, teacup size. Would not totally surprise me there. Also some large hail up on the northeastern side of Burnett. This would include Briggs. That is going to be for some 1 to 1.5-inch hail as well, perhaps up to golf ball size. And it gets that much more dangerous when you're talking about hail. Not only hail, but it's getting wind driven at 60 miles per hour. So driving hail can be even more dangerous than just hail or wind by itself. So this is a 1, 2, even 3 combo with the hail, wind, and even tornado concern. Again, we're looking at this tornado warning over in northwestern Williamson County. I'm going to put our radar loop on once again, take off our lightning because it's just too busy. A little too noisy up there. I know you folks are getting a whole lot of racket up here in northern Williamson County. Just know that the worst part of this storm is on the south side of northern Burnett County. It's just now moving into northwestern Williamson County too. This tornado warning continues for another 22 minutes. So again, you folks in Sun City, east of Joppa, down to Leander as well, almost Leander, Liberty Hill, Lake Georgetown. This tornado warning continues for you until 6:30 p.m. One more check of the velocities. We've been watching this all afternoon, haven't we? It's just not very impressive to me, my friends. And that's very good. I don't want to be impressed by our velocities. This is on the west side of 183 now. If we are seeing a tornado, it's going to be the reds right there matched up to the greens. But that's right at the bottom of the scale. Right here, in the middle of the scale, that's 0-mile-per-hour winds detected by the radar, technically, at least what's going towards or away from it. So that's very, very weak rotation indicated to me. I'm not totally sold on there being a tornado on the ground here on the west side of 183. But if there is, this will be just south of Mahomet, west of 183, Bold Sundown. If you were in Bold Sundown, anywhere west of 183, if there is a tornado here with this rotation right here, that's going to be moving towards the south, towards Bold Sundown in not too much longer. About 30 miles per hour is how fast this storm is moving. So not a whole lot of opportunity for you to get into your safe place, so I want you to do that now. And again, as we've been highlighting, even though the rotation may not look that impressive as we speak, it's very, very easy for these storms to very quickly flare up a new area of rotation that could pose a new tornado threat. So if you are in this tornado warning, again, until 6:30, another 20 minutes, I want you to stay in your safe place. I want to go over to this storm as well in Llano County. This is the prime example of what we would look at for what could be a higher tornado threat is right here. Velocities very bright going away from the radar and then towards the radar on the south side of the storm. That is where we're seeing some rotation here. Pretty broad, all things considered, with this storm on the south side of Llano, but this is something we'll have to watch very carefully. Not a tornado warning here just yet, just west of Highway 71. But you folks in Llano, also over towards Kingsland, I want you to watch this one closely. We're going to stay on air with you as long as there is a tornado warning on the ground to keep you posted on what we are seeing and where it is worst. That storm's certainly concerning to me, but not a severe thunderstorm, or excuse me, not a tornado warning just yet. If you hear silence every once in a while, that's because I'm checking in with the National Weather Service chat. We have a discussion group that shows us what the National Weather Service is thinking. Maybe they're going to be issuing a new warning. Not seeing any of that just yet, but still dealing with our severe thunderstorms that are ongoing up here in our northern counties. Let me give you the big picture. Been on air for a while now for those of you who may just be joining us. Again, most of the area totally quiet, but these storms have really flared up over the last hour or so and are very, very intense. They're tapping into that extreme heat and humidity that you felt outside today. Heat index values as high as 108 degrees. So the biggest concern in the short term is going to be for this tornado warning, which again goes until 6:30 p.m. Also, we just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued. Want to get you the latest info on that as well. This severe thunderstorm warning includes all of Williamson County until 7:15 p.m. Let me show you, or at least get the text on this. So the National Weather Service is highlighting with this new severe thunderstorm warning, which includes Georgetown, it includes Round Rock, Cedar Park, Liberty Hill, Leander. This is going to be for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Not your standard 60, but now 70 miles per hour. So that's going to be one step above our normal severe weather criteria. And again, this goes until 7:15 p.m. with this thunderstorm really starting to intensify as it moves towards the south. They also just trimmed back the tornado warning once again. I don't think they'll reissue one, but they continue to trim it down, which is at least some good news. On the west side of Williamson County, have not seen anything that, I have not seen any reports of a visual confirmation of any tornado with this tornado warning. Again, this is including Lake Georgetown, just west of Sun City now, on the far western periphery of Williamson County. Haven't seen anything confirmed here. That's good. This is radar indicated. I don't doubt the National Weather Service one bit for issuing this warning because the velocity at a time was looking very impressive. But at its current state, you see as we loop through here, look at this. You see the bright greens, blues fade to almost nothing. That is why I think our tornado threat is significantly lower here. And this storm hasn't really shown any signs of re-swirling up, getting that twist back into its updraft, so to speak. Right now, it looks pretty tame, all things considered. But if we are going to be seeing any sort of tornado, it would be on the far western side of Williamson County, approaching Highway 29. This is going to be south of Mahomet, close to Bold Sundown. And again, we're looking for where the winds are going like this and like that. That's what our radar velocities can tell us. So if there is a tornado, it's going to be right here. But this is very not impressive in terms of our velocity. Has not shown anything impressive for the last about 10 or 15 minutes or so. So I think this storm really starting to wind down in terms of a tornado threat. The damaging wind threat, though, that is certainly picking up. As these storms congeal into a line, this is kind of what they did up in DFW earlier. They congeal into a line. There's a lot of dry air in the atmosphere. All that dry air is causing some very strong outflow winds at the bottom of these storms. So it's going to drop the temperature like that when these storms are about to hit your area. It's going to get very windy too, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. That's why I want you to be inside as we speak. Also seeing a lot of lightning strikes out ahead of this line of storms. So I do worry for our friends over there on Lake Buchanan. Hopefully everyone was able to get off on the water because that is a very electric storm, one of the strongest we have on the map right now. Elsewhere, it's some damaging wind gusts in addition to some large hail up to the size of golf balls in some cases. Let me show you where that hail could potentially be the worst right now. I can tell you right now, with all the lightning over there in Llano County, that's probably going to be where we're seeing the largest of our hail indication. And that is not something you see every day. A hail core that has maxed out our hail potential scale with perhaps, this is indicating, again, I want to stress, this is not ground truth, but it's indicating up to some 3 to 4 inch diameter hail. Do I think that's actually reaching the ground? No, I do not. Don't have any official reports out here just yet, but I would say up to 2 inches in diameter. That is considered to be some very large hail, east side of Llano, just south of Lake Buchanan, and this is moving towards the south. So you folks in Kingsland, you need to be in your safe place. Hopefully you've got everything battened up tight on your property. This is a very large hail core just east of Llano. There's probably some hail, maybe falling in Llano right now. It'd probably be much smaller than what we're seeing in that big old hail core between Llano and the Buchanan Dam. We also have some large hail potentially up here on the northern side of this tornado warning, on the east side of Joppa, west of Florence. This is going to be some 1 to 2 inch diameter hail potentially, is what our radar is indicating for us. That tornado warning's just got about 14 more minutes left to it. And again, we can't totally discount that there may be a quick spin up in there, but I personally am not very excited about the rotation I've been seeing on radar. But still, you folks need to be in your safe place in this red polygon. If you are in this red polygon, it means you're in Liberty Hill, it means you're in Georgetown. I'm going to take our lightning away, it's a little too noisy. This is east of Bertram, Andis, Mahomet, again for another 15 minutes or so. Ronald Reagan Boulevard, anyone who lives out here just on the west side of Georgetown, Sun City, want you to be in your safe place again until 6:30 this evening. Safe place corresponds to an interior room of your house, away from doors and windows, as far away from doors and windows as you can get, usually a hall closet or a bathroom. You can put something on top of your head, be it a helmet or a mattress perhaps. A lot of these things may sound a little silly, but they can save lives. So if you are very concerned about this tornado warning, which I think you should be, I want you to be in your safe place. Bold Sundown down to Liberty Hill and over towards Elizabeth Park Boulevard, Ronald Reagan Boulevard as well, over to Ranch Road 2338. I believe I'm reading that right. Yes, 2338. Let me flip over to our velocity scan one more time just to confirm to you how not excited I am about what we're seeing here on radar. Doesn't really stick out to me at all, but if there was a tornado, if there was a little bit of rotation, it'd be right up there on the west side of 183. Zoom in a little bit tighter here for you. This would be just north of Bold Sundown, because we're looking for where the greens and the reds meet. I'm just not seeing anything bright. There's nothing that totally jumps out at me in this particular storm. So I want you to take this seriously. These storms can flare up a new tornado in no time, but I also want to give you some peace of mind that I'm not seeing a confirmed tornado on the ground. The National Weather Service has not told me there's a tornado warning or a confirmed tornado on the ground. There may be a funnel cloud, perhaps, but I'm not seeing any tornado on the ground at this time. I'm going to get you some new information on the severe thunderstorm warning for Llano as well. The National Weather Service now highlighting over here on the eastern side of Llano County that there may be a tornado possible. They say severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. And that's because of the rotation I've been showing you here for the last 20 minutes or so. Very, very broad. Notice how wide apart the bright reds are away from the bright blues, going like that. So this is what we call mesoscale rotation, not something that would actually be producing a tornado, but one would be possible over there. I'll put you in motion over here in eastern Llano County so you can see how this storm developed. If we are seeing a tornado, it would be right there. That'd be where I'd watch for a formation of a tornado on the west side of Highway 71. Have not seen a tornado warning yet, nor have we seen any confirmation of one on the ground, but that would be one to look out for. Certainly over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. Not much of a hook over there either. We were seeing earlier a pretty good hook right on the southeast side of Llano. That hook has gone away, so that's some good news, but we'll watch that storm carefully for you. Notice this storm also not very well organized. The current tornado warning, which is for western Williamson County, eastern Burnett County until 6:30, it doesn't look very organized for me. This one's going to be on the Burnett and Williamson County line. Maybe we're seeing something right there, but at the same time, the velocity just doesn't support it for me. That velocity is a very, very useful tool in these tornado situations, because sometimes you can get something that looks like a hook like this, looks like a prominent tornado, but it can be just an artifact and not actually part of a tornado. So I'm going to flip over to velocity here real quickly. You can see what I'm talking about. Not very impressive to me, that is for sure. In fact, they trimmed back that tornado warning once again. No longer includes the eastern side of Joppa, and again, it hasn't included Sun City for a while. I don't believe it includes Lake Georgetown, but it does include the far western side of Williamson County. If we are going to see a tornado or a little bit of rotation, it would be right here. Not very promising to me. Let me zoom in once again, show you the locations where this could potentially be producing maybe a skinny tornado that the radar just can't pick up. Bold Sundown. This is County Road 200, County Road 204, a lot of county roads out here. Find your county road if you live out here. Just know that the rotation that I'm watching is going to be right here, met up with right there. So if there is something on the ground, it would be right there on the west side of County Road 200 for reference. If you do live out here, I want you to be in your safe place. This storm continues to move towards the south pretty quickly, but has continued to look less and less organized as it has done so. Let me show you the loop once again. This is last hour. At the beginning of the loop, bright blues next to bright reds, and it just wavered off. Again, if it's there, it's going to be on the west side of Williamson County, approaching Highway 29, but not very excited about it there, nor is our radar. So I want you to continue to be in your safe place, that is for sure. You can't take these lightly, these tornado warnings, because it could very well be that there's a tornado in here that is so small that our radar's having a hard time picking it out among the mix. So this, again, if we are seeing rotation right here, County Road 200, north side of Highway 29, moving towards the south and towards the southwest. It's going to really ride the eastern side of the Williamson and Burnett County line, if you were familiar with that out there. This does not include Travis County, and I doubt that they will issue a new tornado warning for Travis County with this storm, because everything's just starting to meet up into a line, which is a good thing in terms of reducing our tornado threat, but bad in terms of damaging wind gust potential, which is definitely what we're seeing here. Again, if you're just joining me, we've got a couple things going on in Williamson County I want to update you on. We've got this orange area that is a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15 p.m. All of Williamson County included. 1-inch hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds not out of the question. Also have this tornado warning, which has continued for quite a while now, the last hour or so, and it is going to continue until 6:30 p.m. So only about 8 minutes left. We'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do and maybe extending it, but I doubt they will. I'm just not very optimistic on there being a tornado on the ground there. Not very confident, rather. Optimistically, hopefully there is not, and I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Yeah, so they just trimmed back that tornado warning. I'm looking at our National Weather Service chat now to see what they're looking at. This is still just radar indicated rotation. There has not been a confirmed spotting of a tornado on the ground with this tornado warning as it has moved through Burnett and Williamson counties. So that is some good news, some peace of mind for you folks east of Bertram, west of Liberty Hill, that you may be watching this. But again, another 7 minutes or so. I want you to stay in your safe place just in case. If there is a tornado, it's going to be right on the east side of the Burnett-Williamson County line. That line goes just like that. Getting on the south side of Highway 29 as we speak. Does not include Leander or Cedar Park. If you're tuning in from Leander or Cedar Park, you are not under a tornado warning at this time, but you are under severe thunderstorm warning. I think this storm's really starting to lose its spin and instead starting to just push out a whole lot of straight-lined wind potential as the storm continues to move towards the south, closer to Highway 29. And that's why we're seeing the damaging wind threat pick up over here in Williamson County. These storms are a little ragged, not terribly organized, but they're starting to meet up and join hands, so to speak, and get into a line and move farther towards the south. This storm right over Granger Lake, just south of Bartlett, as well as going to be moving down towards Taylor. That is a part of this severe thunderstorm warning for some 1-inch diameter hail and some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. 70 miles per hour is one step above our normal severe thunderstorm warning, which is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So, yeah, we could be seeing some damage up here in Williamson County. But as long as you're in your safe place, Georgetown, Round Rock, I want to encourage you that if you're inside and not trying to get outside and continue those outdoor plans, fun in the sun today, you should be just fine. Couplet, you're also included. Taylor, I want you to be inside as well, but if you ride it out inside, you should be just fine. This is still a ways away from getting into the Austin area. These storms kind of slowed down just a little bit as they move towards the south. And I'm encouraged over here as well as we play through our radar loop. We were talking about that storm over here in Llano. You saw it flare up with a lot of deep reds in there. Radar's starting to pick out just a little bit more orange and red instead of the deep reds in there. So that storm may also be losing a little bit of its steam. This storm in western Williamson County with a tornado warning has also shown a big decrease in the amount of the deep reds we're seeing on our reflectivity here, more of the oranges and yellows. So we like to see that. Hopefully that will continue. This strong storm over here on the radar site itself on the north side of Taylor, that is a pretty potent one as it is flaring up as we speak. Just got a new chime from the National Weather Service. I want to make sure we're not missing anything in here. Some reports of a funnel viewing in our chat around Liberty Hill. So if it is there, if we are seeing that rotation, as I mentioned, like a tornado is one thing, it's on the ground. A funnel is another thing, it's just a little appendage that hangs from the bottom of a cloud. On the west side of Liberty Hill, yeah, we may be seeing it over there. That's why we've been stressing to stay in your safe place in this tornado warning. But again, the radar velocities show a very weakening storm in terms of rotation. Can't totally rule it out. If we are seeing any rotation or perhaps that funnel cloud that has been reported by a few folks be on the west side of Liberty Hill, there's the reds right there going away from the radar, a little bit of green going towards the radar. That's our radar picking out a little bit of rotation when they're right next to each other, perhaps right in there. Yeah, we may be seeing a little bit of a funnel. This tornado warning, again, goes for another 4 minutes. Undecided yet for the National Weather Service whether or not they are going to extend that warning. Hopefully they will not have to, but the severe thunderstorm threat will continue. Let's see, we have a new tornado warning. This is on the east side of Williamson County. Want to get some updates on this. So this is a new tornado warning just coming into us live on the air. This includes Taylor. This includes Copeland. This, I believe, does not include Hutto. I want to confirm for you. Hutto's over here. Taylor is included. Circleville is included in this new tornado warning until 7 p.m. tonight. National Weather Service says that there is a radar-indicated rotation with this storm, in addition to some hail up to the size of 3/4 inches in diameter. I believe we have a new tornado warning also being issued. Okay, so we got a couple new tornado warnings just issued within the last 5 minutes from the National Weather Service. One is until 7 p.m. on the east side of Williamson County. That includes Taylor. That includes far southeastern Williamson County, Copeland until 7 p.m. Brand new tornado warning. This does include Travis County as well. This one will go until 7:15 p.m. I believe it includes the north side of Lake Travis. Let me get some info on this tornado warning itself. If you're just tuning in, getting some information on your phone, perhaps an alert saying there's a tornado warning in Travis County. This is not including Austin. This is going to be on the west side of Travis County. Balcony Canyonlands, Spicewood over there, Hudson Bend is also included, just on the west side of Cedar Park. There's your appendage, the hook echo, so to speak, just about to try to get into far northwestern Travis County. Again, this tornado warning goes until 7:15 p.m. I'm going to zoom in closer, make sure all of our friends here in this area are being accounted for. If you're on the north side of Lake Travis, Jonestown included, Hudson Bend, Lago Vista, Vandergrift High School, I want you all to be in your tornado safe place. What does that mean? Your tornado safe place is an interior room of your house, away from doors and windows, usually a hall closet, underneath a stairwell perhaps, or an interior bathroom, one with no doors and windows. If you can get into that safe space, again until 7:15 p.m., so about 45 minutes from now is when this tornado warning will expire. I want you to get in there and just ride this one out. Again, we've been watching velocity here all night long. I have not seen anything that is totally promising, but there are some indications that there's enough rotation tight enough that there have been some spottings of some funnel clouds over here on the western side of Williamson County as the storm gets into Travis County. So again, what I'm showing you here is your radar velocity scan. This shows the winds going away from the radar and the winds going towards the radar. If we're seeing any form of a funnel cloud or perhaps a tornado on the ground right now, it's going to be right in this neck of the woods. Far, far, far extreme southwestern Williamson County, getting close to the northwestern side of Travis County. Not sure if we have any towns in here either. Got some county roads, that's for sure. County Road 286 Spur, Oak Hill Drive, Double File Trace. That's starting to look a little bit more promising. We just had a new cycle come through on our tornado warning, our velocity scan. That is starting to look a little bit more promising to me. So this is something we definitely need to take seriously. You need to be in your tornado safe place. Oatmeal, you're included. Bertram, you're also included. Liberty Hill, this is on the west side of you, moving towards the south, but I want you to be in your safe place too. What's happening here is this supercell thunderstorm is cycling. We had a very prominent rotation signature north of our area about an hour ago. It's looked very weak up until this moment, and now it's starting to look a little bit more well-defined here. Our velocity scan, our rotation right on the Burnett and Williamson County line. I'll zoom it out for you and put it in motion so you can see how this is all sort of developed. You saw some very bright colors up there. It decreased, and now we're starting to see it cycle once again. So this is a new tornado warning. If you're just joining us, it was issued about 5 minutes ago from the National Weather Service in San Antonio, and that is going to go until 7:15 p.m. This includes the far western side of Travis County. In fact, just the far northwestern side of Travis County. Includes Leander, it includes Spicewood. Does not include Burnett or Marble Falls, but you folks are close enough to this with this storm kind of, you see it going that way? A little bit towards the southwest. I want you to keep a close eye on this one too. These are a little tough to predict. These aren't very organized storms, so the rotation in there is a little bit erratic. It's moving whichever way it wants, and at this time it's riding the Burnett and Williamson County line, heading towards the Travis and Burnett County line, moving pretty quickly at that. So I want to put a timestamp on this for you. I want to get a speed on this too. is moving south at 30 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. So I'm going to put a timestamp on this for you, let you know where it'll be and when, based on what I'm seeing on radar here. This is moving right about yay fast. A little bit faster than that, but close enough. Smithwick, 655. Spicewood, 706, 708. Cypress Mills, 730. So if you were in this area, I want you to be in your tornado-safe place. If you're anywhere in the red, let's be clear, be in your tornado-safe place. This rotation is a little bit erratic, and it's moving left and right, west and east. So everyone in here needs to be in their tornado-safe place. But if you are in this cone that I've driven on your screen, that is where I'm most concerned with this rotation, kind of driving towards the south and towards the southwest. A bit unusual to see rotation moving that direction, but we got to be ready for it over there in western Travis and eastern Williamson County. If we are seeing rotation, that could give us a tornado. This is looking a little bit better defined to me. So this is going to be just south of County Road 286 Spur. This rotation moving down towards the southwest, County Road 328A. Also going to be included in that. Again, moving towards the southwest. The greens right next to the reds. Where they're bright and meet, we call that a tornado couplet. That is where we could be seeing one developing at this time. Again, just south of County Road 286, western side of Williamson County, far eastern side of Burnett County. That's the county line right there for reference. If you're just now tuning in, wanting to know what all the hoopla is, if you're getting just some brand new notifications on your phone. I know everyone's phone has basically something you can't turn off that gives you the tornado warning. I love it. That's some good news. That is going to be for this storm, currently moving into far northwestern Travis County, eastern Burnett County. Just saw that we had a new tornado warning issued in Llano County. This includes Llano County. This includes far northeastern Gillespie County. This also includes the far northwestern side of Blanco County. Brand new, just got into us. Let me get some information on this from the National Weather Service. This tornado warning goes until 7:15 p.m. as well. No major cities in here as far as I can tell that are included. Get the lighting off of here. It's a little too messy. Yeah, our radar's not poking out any big cities or any big roadways, perhaps. But there are plenty of ranch roads through here. This includes Ranch Road 1323. This tornado warning, brand new. Again, if you're just tuning in, this does include Lynn Hardin Road. Does include County Road 310A until 7:15 p.m. So that's a brand new tornado warning. I want to show you our rotation here. You see that one's spinning up pretty quick. Right as it's approaching the northwestern side of Blanco County, far northeastern Gillespie County. That is going to be the reds right next to the green approaching Blanco County. This does not include Johnson City, does not include Blanco just yet, but it is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. That tornado warning goes until 7:15 p.m. Also seeing some very high wind speeds from this storm. And I want to update you on our rotation here as well on the far western side of Williamson County. This is starting to look a little bit like it did earlier when there was a confirmed tornado north of our area. This rotation is really tightening up. This has me a little bit worried, my friends. This is on the western side of Williamson County, riding the Burnett and Williamson County line. This is starting to look quite a bit more significant in terms of our velocity. If we have a tornado on the ground, right now it is still radar indicated, then it would be right where those greens meet up with the reds. So this is going to be County Road 328A. Let me zoom in even farther. This is County Road 287 is where we're seeing this rotation tighten up. This is just east of South Farm to Market Road's 1174. Right here is where we're potentially seeing a tornado on the ground. If there is one on the ground, it's still radar indicated. This is where we are most concerned with it. Let me put this into motion and show you where this will be heading, this rotation, for you folks that are getting these notifications on your phone over there in northwestern Travis County, eastern Burnett County. So that rotation, you can see it for yourself. You don't need a meteorologist to poke it out to you. That is really starting to tighten up, that rotation. The bright reds especially going away from the radar right as this is approaching the far, far northwestern tip of Travis County. You need to be in your tornado-safe place. Anywhere in this polygon, let me zoom it out again to show you who it includes. This is western Travis County, western Williamson County as well, on the west side of Highway 183. is going to be just east of Highway 281. It does include Spicewood. Spicewood, notice how this rotation is kind of going towards the southwest just like this. You need to be in your tornado safe place as we speak. And again, if you were in a mobile home, get out of the mobile home. You do not want to stay in a mobile home under any circumstances when there's a tornado warning for your area. Tornado warnings and even straight-lined wind damage can do a whole lot of damage to a mobile home. They kind of fall apart in these sort of situations. So the safest place to be would be to get out of that mobile home and get over to a safe, sturdy structure, be it a nearby gas station, a nearby grocery store, something that can house you, give you an interior room to ride this out in as this tornado warning and rotation in particular really starts to pick up. Again, if you're just joining us, this is western Travis County, eastern Burnett County. This tornado warning, if I'm not mistaken, goes until 7:15 p.m. It does indeed. And just looking at it radar, doesn't look very impressive. In fact, this is likely a rain-wrapped tornado based on what I'm seeing. If there is a tornado, you see it kind of spinning towards the southwest, it's likely wrapped in rain. So don't try to go outside and get a good view of it. You probably won't be able to because it's going to be wrapped in rain and it won't be visible. And then it's going to be on your front doorstep. So I want you to just get in your safe place. You don't need to be outside watching this storm. It's going to be wrapped in rain and you very well may not see it coming either. Let me give this other tornado warning as well. I don't want to forget about our folks in Taylor, Copeland. This tornado warning goes until 7 p.m., so another 22 minutes on this one. I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me on velocity. Certainly some very damaging wind gusts. That is for sure. On the west side of Taylor, on the east side of Round Rock, this is some very damaging winds, likely in excess of 70 miles per hour. So it may sound like a tornado is coming through, but at least from our radar site up here near Granger Lake, northeastern Williamson County, doesn't immediately stick out to me like there's a tornado on the ground. So I'm going to leave this one be, and I'm going to come back to it as I need to, but I definitely want to focus on the more impressive rotation that I'm seeing over here in the far western side of Travis County. So if we are seeing a tornado, Smithwick, I want you to be in your safe place. And again, I want you to get into an interior room. Best place to be, honestly, is if you have an interior bathroom in your house that's beneath a hall closet or something. Used to have one of those growing up here in Westlake on the west side of Austin. And whenever this would happen, we'd get in the bathtub and we'd get something on our heads, be it a mattress or be it a helmet. It may sound silly, but that can often save lives. That rotation is going to be poking out right here, east side of Smithwick, moving towards the southwest. I'm going to loop this over the last 30 minutes. I'm going to try to slow it down so you can really see how this has developed and where it is moving. Give you an idea of what I'm thinking here too as well for where this will be heading. Yeah, you can really see it. You don't need me to poke it out to you. The rotation really ramped up right there as it approached that intersect between our three counties, Burnett, Travis, Williamson counties. I'm a little bit encouraged that perhaps the greens going towards the radar, the wind going this way, that leads to that rotation has at least briefly subsided, but this is still a very dangerous storm, likely capable of producing a tornado at any time. The National Weather Service has not indicated a confirmed tornado. This is all still radar indicated, but it's still a tornado warning nonetheless. I want to go back over here to this tornado warning as well, briefly, in northwestern Blanco County. West of Round Mountain, east of Eckert, doesn't technically include part of eastern Gillespie County, far southern end of Burnett and Llano counties as well, just southern Llano County. This is going to go until 7:15 p.m. If we're seeing rotation right there, it's going to be right there. Our radar site that's picking up this rotation pretty far away. When you have a radar site that's far away from where the tornado is potentially occurring, it's often much harder to detect if there's a tornado on the ground. So this one needs to be taken very seriously. This tornado warning, if it is including your area, again, we don't have any major city populations picking out in this particular tornado warning, but this is on the west side of Highway 71 in southeastern Llano County. This is on the northwestern side of Blanco County, and this is far northeastern, Gillespie County. So here's a somewhat major thoroughfare, Ranch Road 1323. On the north side of that, including Ranch Road 1323, this is going to be where you need to take your safe precautions, get in your tornado safe place. If you've got a storm shelter, obviously that's the best place to be, but interior room of your house or your building, if you're in an apartment, you want to get to the first floor and into an interior room as well. Ask your neighbors, they will let you in, I promise. That is the best place to be. We are likely seeing some very damaging winds in addition to the tornado threat that we're seeing at this time. but the tornado threat is obviously of most immediate concern. I'm going to go back to this one affecting northwestern Travis County, just east of South Farm to Market Road 1174, just east and northeast of Smithwick. Again, this tornado warning will go for another 20 minutes at least. I believe maybe another 45 minutes, perhaps 35 minutes. Let me get that sorted out real quickly. Yes, so 7:15 p.m. We've got a ways to go on this one. I'm going to get the lightning out of here. After a quick gloss over, can't forget lightning by itself is dangerous, and there's so much electricity up here. This is a very noisy storm. West of Georgetown and Sun City, right over there near Burnett, over Marble Falls. It's over Spicewood as well. That is a very noisy storm and pretty dangerous in its own right, minus the tornado threat. I'm going to take the lightning away now so you can see the structure a little bit better of our radar. We're also seeing some very heavy rain in here. Can't forget about that. Another good reason to stay in your safe place and off the roads is that there's some heavy rain and likely some ponding of roadways and some swollen creeks and streams. I want to show you something that's it's making me a little bit happy here. Happy meteorologist is a good thing. As this continues to move towards the south, you see a little spin right there. It started to really ramp up just a little bit as it was getting into far northwestern Travis County. It started to occlude again. If you've been with me for the last entire hour, you will know that I've talked about tornadoes ending and then beginning once again. They kind of cycle through one another. It looks like this one is starting to end, at least from what I'm seeing on rotation and just on the radar itself. That is not a reason to get out of your tornado safe space in northwestern Travis County or eastern Burnett County, but it is me trying to give you some peace of mind that hopefully this is starting to wind down just a little bit. Let me go back over to our velocity scan and show you. Still seeing the bright greens right next to the bright reds, or I should say bright reds more so than anything. This is going to be just on the east side of the Travis and Burnett County line near Smithwick, southeast of Smithwick, moving towards the south 30 miles per hour. So this one's really cooking with gas. It looks like it's going to move just to the west of Balcony Canyonlands. Yeah, we just got an update on our rotation here on our velocity scan. It does look like it's going to clip the west side of Balcony Canyonlands. And again, this is not a confirmed tornado. This is radar indicated. Again, apologies for the silence. I'm making sure that I'm reading through our National Weather Service chat group so that I can make sure I'm not missing any information that's pertinent to you at home. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's being issued as well. We've got a continued tornado warning. Nothing brand new that is jumping out at me as anything other than the couple of tornado warnings that we've been watching. One is on the east side of Llano, southeast Llano, in fact, eastern side of Gillespie County, northwestern side of Johnson City. That's going to be in Blanco County until 7 p.m., I believe. We have this tornado warning on the west side of Williamson County and the west side of Travis County. On the eastern side of Burnett County, that does include Spicewood, it does include Hudson Bend, it does include Lago Vista, it does include Jonestown. That one goes until 7:15 p.m., but the rotation itself here is moving towards the southwest. I want to jump over to our other storm over here, in Williamson County, eastern Williamson County. This tornado warning also continues. This one has looked fairly ragged to me, all things considered, but it does have a tornado threat with it. That does include Taylor and Couplet until 7 p.m., so another 15 minutes on this before you can get out of your safe space. I also want to focus on a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued briefly. I want to cover you folks over here in Bastrop County. Elgin does not include eastern Travis County, but this one will go for a while. Let me see if I can get some information on when this one will expire. This one will expire at 7:30 p.m. The severe thunderstorm warning is for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some 1-inch diameter hail. Your standard severe thunderstorm warning. What we're seeing up in Williamson County is a little bit more elevated than that. 70-mile-per-hour winds and up to golf ball-sized hail. So this is nothing to flirt with either. West of Lexington, Bastrop does include Cedar Creek as well, right on the southwest side of Bastrop. This will go for a while. What did I just say? It was until 7:30. Yes, 7:30 p.m. for you folks on the west side of Highway 77. This one, too, is starting to rotate just a little bit. Not a tornado warning just yet, but you see that hook echo. I'll watch it for you over here on the far western side of Lee County. This warning goes until 7:45 p.m. I should clarify that, but this tornado potential here can't totally be ignored. No tornado warning yet as the storm moves towards the south into parts of Bastrop County, but I'll watch it for you very carefully because that one too is kind of showing a little bit of hookage. Let's go back to this tornado warning. This one has been showing the greatest sign of rotation over the last half hour to an hour or so on the western side of Travis County, eastern Burnett County. Flip over to our velocity scan once again. So this is starting to get pretty far away from our radar site. I want to show you what we're up against in detecting this tornado just with our tools alone. So the radar site's up over here in Granger Lake. This tornado potentially is on the far western side of Travis County. This means our radar is sensing a couple thousand feet above the surface, so not getting ground truth here on our velocity scan. That's why I want you to take this seriously, just because we are seeing at least some rotation, although it's not very tight. We're not seeing like a couplet, so to speak, where the reds and greens are right next to each other and very bright. But there may be a tornado on the ground with this. It's continuing to look a little bit less organized as we get more and more scans through here. There's certainly some wind in here that's going to make it sound and feel like a tornado, but the rotation really has started to fall off on the western side of Balcones Canyonlands and on the east side of Spicewood. This is Highway 71 right here, the blue line on the bottom of your screen. So this is going to be just northeast of that, but moving towards the southwest pretty quickly, again about 30 miles per hour. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes another good chunk of western Travis County, most of Blanco County, and northwestern Hayes County. Let me get some info on this. Take away your lightning once again. So this severe thunderstorm warning is going to go until 7:30 p.m. That is going to be for the threat for, let's see. That one was just issued. That's going to be for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and hail up to 1 inch in diameter for that brand new severe thunderstorm warning. There's also a storm report in Llano. Goodness gravy. 1.75-inch hail that fell in Llano, which is why that severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect. We got the trifecta here. Tornado threat, large hail threat, confirmed report of 1.75-inch hail that's getting close to hen egg size in diameter, in addition to a few tornadoes that are also with us here this evening. Again, there's one tornado warning here. Has not been confirmed on the ground, but radar indicated rather. This storm continues to look promising in terms of rotation, not being very well defined, but it is certainly there that we could be seeing enough rotation to promote a tornado being on the ground. I have a feeling that there are some very fast winds moving through Spicewood at this time. Likely some damage occurring. Hopefully you are in your safe place in Spicewood. Same goes for Marble Falls. Likely some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. That's what you're going to be seeing in Blanco County as well. Again, we're looking at velocities here if you're just joining us. Another place where we're definitely seeing some severe thunderstorm winds is right up here on the southwest side of Taylor. Norman Crossing. This is southeast of Hutto, just by a little bit. Notice all these bright yellows here. This isn't tornado rotation, but I'm showing you this because our radar is picking out some velocities here in excess of 60 miles per hour. In fact, in excess of 70 miles per hour. This is showing us some 80 mile per hour wind potential, southeastern side of Hutto. And remember, when you get wind speeds this high, 70, 80, 90 miles per hour, it can do just as much damage as a weak tornado. So this should not be taken lightly either. Although you were not included in that tornado warning, this straight line wind damage, you remember we showed you as we were starting off our newscast, what it could do to a high rise. We saw a crane collapse and unfortunately led to a fatality in Dallas. So that's why we want you to be inside and as far into an interior room as possible with these not only tornado warnings, but severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Let me take a moment to reset here for anyone who may just be joining us. Take the wide view. We've seen some thunderstorms rolling in pretty quickly out of the north at about 30 miles per hour. They were pretty isolated initially, but now you'll notice they're starting to gather together into a line of storms, moving quickly towards the south, 30 miles per hour, and everything here is possible, including a tornado threat. Can't also discount a damaging wind threat, 60, 70, 80 miles per hour, in addition to some hail up to the size of 1, 2 inches in diameter. It's what we've been seeing in several spots. I want to go back to this storm. This has been the storm that actually began southwest of Dallas, a part of that complex that led to the crane collapse in Dallas earlier this afternoon. And it is starting to show a little bit more of that appendage. We call it the hook echo. It looks like a kidney bean. It's another way to put it. I'm going to take the radar, or excuse me, the lightning off here just to show you the shape of it. That tornado warning still goes for another 25 minutes. I imagine they will be updating this to either trim it down and include just parts of southwestern Travis County and southeastern Burnett County, or hopefully they won't have to reissue it as this continues to move towards the southwest. If you're wondering where I've been going, I've been getting on we have a kiosk over here to control our graphics from, so I've been over here. I'll try to move it a little bit closer to being on TV. Velocity scan, once again, has really started to fall apart in terms of rotation. Again, this color scale up here is very useful. It shows inbound velocity and outbound velocity. The greens and blues, that's going towards the radar, and the yellows and oranges are going away from the radar. All we're seeing right here, at least, is going away from the radar. That tells us this is straight-lined wind damage primarily, hopefully, and not in the term of tornado or rotating thunderstorm winds. But can't discount it, getting close to Spicewood at this time. There's likely some very strong wind as well moving through Spicewood. Some damaging straight-lined wind potentially. That tornado warning is going to definitely need some updating here because it's still got another 20 minutes to go on it. But I think this is moving a little bit too quickly towards the southwest. They may have to reissue a tornado warning for parts of Blanco, perhaps Hayes, and perhaps western Travis County, but that remains to be seen. I'm going to take this opportunity, get back over to radar, let you see this one more time. And I'm going to check in with the National Weather Service. Interesting. We have perhaps a rotation being pinpointed over here in parts of far eastern Williamson County with this storm, with this tornado warning that goes until 7 p.m. Again, I'm going to take the lightning away from here. This storm doesn't look very organized to me. It just looks like it's got a really strong wind threat, probably some hail in there as well, but I'm not seeing anything, at least on radar, that jumps out to me as rotating. I'm going to go back over here to velocity as well, and I'm not seeing it there either. Certainly some very strong straight-line winds, and I can't imagine why we are not under a severe thunderstorm warning in Austin at this time, because those winds are in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour, right now moving into Pflugerville and parts of Manor as well. So we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning here, but I want you to pretend like you're under one in northeastern Travis County. Okay, so they have just trimmed back the tornado warning. I want to update you on that very quickly. They have basically almost eliminated it entirely. It now includes a very small area of western Travis County, including Hudson Bend, Lago Vista, and eastern and southeastern Burnett County. That's Spicewood, just north of Briarcliff. So that tornado warning has been updated to go until 7:15. And again, it's just radar indicated. So the National Weather Service is highlighting that this is a squall line, a line of storms that as it moves towards the south can sometimes produce quick little spin-ups. Maybe what we're seeing here in Spicewood and on the western side of Lake Travis as well, Lago Vista, you're included in this tornado warning, which goes until 7:15 p.m. Hudson Bend, you're also included north side of Briarcliff. Again, until 7:15 p.m., but I want to tell you, while you need to be taking this seriously in Spicewood over towards Lago Vista, Hudson Bend, the rotation here doesn't immediately jump out to me as having produced a tornado on the ground. Still, look at these bright colors. This is up there on our outbound velocity scale. 60, 70 mile per hour winds, you betcha. Probably in this area, southern end of Burnett County, western end of Travis County, so that alone is enough to stay inside for. This is certainly a hazardous storm moving through. This does include northeastern Travis County as well. Again, we don't have a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning in northeastern side of Travis County, but look at the bright yellows. Our velocity here, our radar site, not too far away up here in Granger Lake. It's picking out some 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds, radar indicated. Whether or not that's making it to the surface remains to be seen, but I would imagine there is some damaging wind gust potential in Manor, in Pflugerville, on the south side of Round Rock as well, moving towards downtown Austin. I would love to see a downtown Austin view. Maybe we can get one from our Skycam. This is up in Round Rock. Round Rock already got the mess of storms. That's moving south of there. We'll try to get you a view of that in just a little bit in downtown Austin, but I imagine it looks pretty wicked, looks pretty scary as well. Let me reset here one moment for those who are just joining us. Again, we have 3 tornado warnings. One is for Taylor, Coupland, eastern side of Williamson County. That goes until 7 p.m. There's also a tornado warning just been trimmed back by the National Weather Service. Includes Hudson Bend, Lago Vista, Spicewood until 7:15 p.m. But this storm has really started to look a little bit more disorganized. So is this one over here on the western side of Blanco County. Southern Llano County, that one goes until 7:15 p.m., but that one too starts to look a little bit ragged to me. But all 3 of these, if you are included, you need to be in your tornado safe place. I've been mentioning it all night, but in case you're just joining us, tornado safe place is in the interior room of your home, including a bathtub or somewhere in a basement, if you have one. Not many of us do here in Central Texas. Anywhere that you can be that's putting as many walls and windows and doors between you and the outside as possible, that's what you want to be doing. It includes Spicewood, it includes Hudson Bend, it includes Lago Vista, it includes a little snippet of northwestern Blanco County, southern Llano, eastern Gillespie. Both of those go until 7:15 p.m. I'm still waiting to see if they're going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Travis County, for the rest of Travis County, I should say. I honestly think there should be one, given the radar indication of strong winds that we're seeing. Let's add a 4th element to the mix. Flash flood warning now includes Llano. This is for all of Llano County, for the most part, including Enchanted Rock. That will go for the next few hours at least. Let me get the official timestamp from the National Weather Service on that. So that flash flood warning will go until 10 p.m. I've been mentioning the last couple of days that with these storms, at least on parts of these storms, they can slow down, drop a lot of heavy rain. We've seen quite a bit here over the last little bit, and that is leading to flash flooding in Llano County. So that one goes until 10 p.m. I will go back to that if I can later on, but of course the more pressing issues are our tornado warnings. I'm going to go back to this one in eastern Williamson County, give you all some peace of mind over here in Taylor and Coupland, just south of Granger Lake. Let me flip over to our velocity scan and show you what we're seeing. And I got to tell you, there's nothing here that jumps out to me as being rotating at all. Perhaps in here, if anything, but that's so broad and weak, I just don't think there's anything on the ground there. I'm not seeing anything that jumps out to me as there being a tornado on the ground. Doesn't mean you can't take this one seriously. This tornado warning for Taylor and Coupland still goes until 7:15 p.m. Hopefully they'll be able to cancel it early or let it expire just on its own. But I'm looking at this with an optimistic view. I think we're doing okay over here in eastern Williamson County. Let me go into Travis County. Again, there's, as far as I know, there's still no severe thunderstorm warning up here in Travis County. I want to get a view of downtown Austin on one of our weather cams. I'm going to do that here pretty quick. What are you saying, Victoria? My producer's talking to me. Okay. Okay. So we are going to be going to the Tony coverage as well tonight. We're going to double box it for you so that we're getting you the information that we can, in addition to letting you see the programming that was just now starting on CBS Austin. Again, these are the Tonys, James Corden hosting, but we have tornado warnings on the ground. We got to get these covered for folks that may be in the path of these storms that are worried about it. Here's a view from downtown Austin. This is that gusty wind threat that may be moving through.